When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the podcast that's been on the charts like 6 times longer than Lil Nas X, and Billy Ray Cyrus still hasn't replied to our request for a remix.
Who is
Topical humor. I'm Jay Leno now. Hey, everybody, or however he sounds.
Jay Leno was like marginally topical 25 years ago.
I'm aiming to replace that by being marginally topping.
I'm not Jay Leno. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today,
we're going to talk about beards.
We're going to talk about beards.
Brought to you by, well, not really brought. That sounds like a sponsor.
Brought to you by Kmart.
Kmart. Where the beard in all of us loves to shop. No, this is a Patreon requested.
.com/Gayish podcast.
Yes. Requested episode.
Yeah.
So thank you to Chris Sanders for his ongoing support for this program.
I mean, we shouldn't thank him yet. This is the top of the show.
Oh, well, he shouldn't thank us yet.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen. I'm excited to talk about beards. There's a lot. There's many different ways to slice and dice them.
Oh, gross. Okay, yes.
You don't know who I think I made you listen to Lil Nas X. He's like,
What does it have to do with Billy Ray Cyrus? I was very confused.
Yeah,
usually with your opening.
I'd never do a topical one, and this one. So he's this black artist who had a hit on the country charts, and as soon as the country Billboard moderator, I don't know, had a stick up his ass, and they were like, "Wait, this isn't country enough," so they removed it. Then Billy Ray Cyrus was like, I don't know who contacted who in this situation. I wasn't involved, but like somehow a remix with Billy Ray Cyrus.
Okay.
Then he came on to be like, I think it's kind of like an FU to the Billboard charts of like, okay, now is it country enough? Because some white dude's twanging along.
Got it.
So it's like set to be one of the top like number one hits, like in line with "I Will Always Love You" and "The Boy Is Mine," and like,
yeah,
gayest gasp from Dan. "The Boy Is Mine." That's what got you. The boy is mine. And then she hit that dude with his car and killed him, and then no one heard from Brandy again.
I'm very confused.
It's
Still,
just
that's fine.
topical
humor.
humor.
Just let me wallow in my.
You don't need to know.
Blessed ignorance.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna talk about beards, but first,
I have some news. Or do you want to do some other things?
No, you do.
Are we supposed to say like a person paid for this?
We did. Chris Sanders.
Great.
Did I say that? He gave us money. He funded on the top tier of the Patreon thing, and when you do that, you get an episode that you get to pick.
Yep, he picked beards because he has one.
Because he has one, a specific one. It's like long and cylindrical. I mean, right? like a like from the chin and like down and like long and
just
down.
like your hand motion suggests that it's just a dick on his face made out of hair.
Oh, just wonder if he turns around and sucks it sometimes. Can you self-suck your own beard? Is that gay? Yes, it is. Okay. Anyway, yes, we already did that. Great. Thanks, Chris. If you want an episode that you decide the topic of, listen to this first and decide if that's what you really want, and then maybe think about it.
Although while I'm thinking about it, there are people who have paid for but have not yet utilized your "we'll read anything."
Oh yeah,
we will read whatever you said to us, and like get those in because Mike is going to say whatever you want him to. That's
you can
right.
make him say Republicans are the smartest people.
Yeah. Yep.
And a new thing.
Yep, Kyle. Cancel the Patreon.
Oh, we are taking it down. It's no longer there.
Yep.
Another thing that we added a bunch of stuff to Patreon. One of them, though, that Chris Sanders specifically said he liked, and so I hope other people do too, is that we now have a specific RSS feed for the Patreon episodes. So when we release a bonus segment, you actually have a feed that you can just, instead of going to patreon.com and like listen to the audio there, you can just plug in a feed to your favorite podcast player and just listen to it like it's its own separate podcast.
Yep. You can put in a central line and just get Gayish on tap right into your jugular.
Yep. Feels real good.
Feels real good.
Yeah.
Are you ready for news?
Yeah.
Okay, here is some news.
Oh. Okay.
Okay?
News.
News. Here comes the news. We need a news bumper.
Here comes
I'm
the
obsessed with making bumpers now.
I know. The new song, the new intro song.
Yeah.
I don't know it enough to know all the how it goes, but it's still been stuck in my head. So I just kind of make up my own if you're sitting with a tuba and you don't have a lot of luba, you're fucking gayish. I just am thinking, but it's still to the tune.
Yeah.
There was this when I was in elementary school, when the teachers didn't want to work, I guess they would put us in front of giant rolled out carts with giant TVs and VCRs on them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things they
media cart.
frequently played was this TV show. It was out of Boston or somewhere in that area from some zoo, and the theme song, I still can sing the theme song, and it's let's go to the zoo, 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 let's go to the zoo, zoo, zoo. Anyway, and when I hear news, I'm let's go to the news, news. Let's go to the news. What's new in the news?
We could have
something like that.
We could have a news jingle.
News jingle.
Yeah.
Okay, Big Fatty taught me. It's called a bumper.
Oh, bumper.
Bumper.
I hardly know her.
Yeah. Exactly. Da-da-da.
Yeah.
Okay. Time for news.
Okay, news.
Okay, great. Have we already talked about Pete Buttigieg?
No.
On the show?
I think we need to do a whole thing on him.
Yep. Maybe a shrinkage about Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
And why, 3 strikes, man.
Uh-oh.
What
are his 3 strikes?
You can't spell Buttigieg without but. Have you seen that his name starts with but?
Yeah, I have. And followed with edge. I want to edge for Pete Buttigieg. Or there's something there.
Yep. And he's gay. Strike 2. Strike 3. He speaks Norwegian.
Why?
It's not. I don't know.
Why Norwegian specifically a strike? What do you? I thought you were gonna I thought you were gonna legitimately say you didn't like him for some reason. Oh, okay.
It's simple math, Kyle.
I didn't know these rules in politics. Okay.
So Pete Buttigieg, for people who don't know because their heads up their own ass or someone else's,
or good for you if that's the case.
He is running for president and for the Democratic nomination for president. He is the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and he's gay, openly gay, has a boyfriend, husband, dude.
They've been married for less than a year.
Yep.
And I don't know how old Petey is.
Pete,
yeah.
Mayor Pete. That's
Mayor
one of his
Pete.
nicknames.
Yeah, I go by. I call him Petey.
Petey.
It's our thing.
Yeah,
he doesn't know it yet, but it will be. I think
P-butt.
Okay, separate episode topic. P-butt. It's not as easy as you think.
Yeah,
okay.
Actually, that's a good nickname for Montezuma's Revenge, if you think about it.
Now you're saying things that I don't understand?
Montezuma's Revenge, that's the you
I
shit.
didn't-
You
see,
shit.
diarrhea, Kyle,
It's
it's
diarrhea
Oh,
because
got it. Okay.
you drank the water.
I get it. Okay.
All right.
It's maybe a little racist.
But why? That's what they call it. I thought that was... Anyway, okay. We'll do another one about Montezuma's Revenge.
Great.
And whether I'm racist or not. Okay. So he's super gay.
Yeah.
And...
Well, but some people don't know if he's gay enough.
Right. So there's a lot to talk about, news-wise with him, and maybe I'm making a mistake by trying to just do a quick news item about him, because there's a lot there.
Yeah, I'll try not to... Yeah, we'll just do the basic news and then go into real deep into Pete later.
Yep. Right into P-butt. Okay. So, in a speech on Sunday, April 7th, he said, quote, "Speaking only for myself, I can tell you that if me being gay was a choice, it was a choice that was made far, far above my pay grade. And that's the thing I wish the Mike Pences of the world would understand. If you've got a problem with who I am, your problem is not with me. Your quarrel, sir, is with my creator."
Ooh, and the way you said creator, get your extra air of distinguishedness that I really appreciate in this context.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's what I do.
That's what you bring to the news.
For our international listeners, Mike Pence is our vice president, and he is not known for being LGBT friendly. How
Real
about that?
stupid head.
Yeah. Dick face.
No dicks in his face that we know of. But at the same time,
He wants the dicks in his face.
yeah, but that's so secret.
and that's
This
why
is
he hates us so much.
beards. He has his beard, Karen.
Karen.
Yeah, and at the other end of the spectrum, Pete Buttigieg is very religious, but going for the left wing. So it's interesting to have. I think this is something that's been. I think it's like when I thought about it, it's like, oh, it's so obvious. Like, how do you attack the right? Like,
Yeah.
you approach it with something that like they're not expecting, that they can't defend against, and having a left wing religious person.
Yeah, Mayor Pete's trying to create a religious left
Yeah.
argument, which I think is interesting.
I really like his argument, and like honestly, people have been saying this for a long time, but it's the fact that it's coming from someone who's so staunchly religious and talks about his religion a whole lot, which is unusual for a left candidate.
Yep.
I love that he said that, and
I heard a whole thing about how he's Episcopalian. I heard a whole thing about how Episcopalians aren't really Christians.
Oh, great.
Like there's swaths now of crazy right-wing evangelical American shitfuck heads that like are anti-Episcopal now.
Yeah.
Which the Episcopal Church is basically the Catholic Church without the Pope. It's very formal, very ritualistic.
Yeah.
Joseph Peters Matthews is an Episcopal priest, though. They're down with the gays.
yeah, or at least he is. Are they as an entire species of Episcopalians?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's like really.
great. Yeah. No, I agree. Good analysis, Kyle.
I forgot what I was going to say, and then anyway.
So now I'm going to talk about Tony Perkins.
Okay.
So Tony Perkins, T-Perk, he is on President Trump's Faith Advisory Board and is famously involved with Focus on the Family.
Oh, fuck that place.
Yeah. So he said on April 10th, Wednesday, so this is like 3 days later, the attack is on, right? Let's ruin Pete Buttigieg's God made me this way argument. Mm-hmm. Quote, there's just no evidence to support that. I think Mayor Pete has an issue with the words of Scripture. I know that if you repeat a lie often enough, people begin to believe it. But God does not create people that way.
Interesting. It's so interesting. It's such projection.
Yeah. He added, quote, now there's circumstances that lead one maybe down that path, and I'm not saying anyone would choose that lifestyle, but to say that they were made by God, first off, the science doesn't back that up, and Scripture doesn't back that up, because
Doesn't they do?
because Jesus himself spoke to what marriage was, and Matthew also spoke to what gender was. I don't hear Mayor Pete quoting that.
I don't believe any of that.
Scripture warns of wolves in sheep's clothing coming and talking smooth, trying to be all things to all people. The reality is he's advocating for policies that are not in line with the Scripture. You can talk about words, you can use the rhetoric of Scripture, but your policy has to match it. When you're redefining God's institution of marriage, you can't claim to be carrying out the policies and principles of Scripture when you're doing things that are 180 degrees from it. Now, this man, people listen to him. And
Can I give my response to that?
please.
It's literally what he just said to him. Like, copy paste, say that back to him. Your policies don't align with what God said. They are not about loving people and caring about people and caring about the poorest and the worst and the ugliest. I don't know if Jesus cared about ugly people, but like, it's literally.
We can assume he was down, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
If he existed.
If he existed. History. But it's like this is like the definition of projecting, because that's exactly what he's doing.
Yep.
And the fact that he's finding someone whose like beliefs are in line with what he's actually saying and doing is different than what the fuck Focus on the Family does.
Yep. Well, and it's interesting how you can be really literal about shit the Bible says when that suits your purpose, and when you can be sort of symbolic or euphemistic about it. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus never said marriage is between one man and one woman. I defy you to find that in the Bible. It does not exist.
Right,
so
right,
it's
right.
being inferred for a purpose.
Right. And well, it's interesting, like, Mayor Pete makes them find, like, all the attacks they've had on gayness. Now they have to, like, find new attacks or find excuses why what they said before will let me clarify that. So it's like, it's one of those times where, like, it's just, it's, I mean, fun, but, like, in a devastating way of, like, people trying to go so far to justify their beliefs so they don't
Yep.
have to change their own beliefs.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
So
Fuck them all.
Mayor Pete needs a word writer. What do they call it? Never mind, I didn't get the job. Speech writer, thanks, Dan.
A word writer?
I'm no speech writer, but boy, am I a good word writer.
Oh, God.
Notably, Jesus, famous beard wearer. Or was he?
Or was he?
Or was he?
History never knows.
He was a white dude with no beard, for sure.
Yeah.
Some accounts suggest maybe he wasn't a he.
Lady Jesus.
So, I didn't really plan on talking about this, but I'm going to now.
Let's do it.
The Mormon Church announced this week that they will now allow the children of LGBT people to be baptized. That is a reversal of a policy they announced in 2015 when they stopped baptizing children of LGBT couples until they turned 18 and had to disavow same-sex relationships. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The Mormon Church is built on the principle that the president of the church talks to God. God tells him things. So when the president says, this is the rule now, it's coming from God because God talks to the president.
Yeah.
So,
I know a few people in the psych ward like that.
right?
But whom am I to judge?
Oh, wait. Kyle, is this a psych ward? Is this like that episode of Buffy where, like, you and I are talking into cans and, like, separated by bars?
Oh, my God. Wait.
Institution somewhere?
Do you think one of us is in the psych ward and the other is visiting?
No, I think we're both in the
there?
psych ward.
Just different. Okay.
Oh
no.
my God, is Buffy a reference all three of us understand?
First time.
You guys got the triple sigh on that one. Or
I
gasp,
think
triple gasp.
Triple gasp, and I think it harmonized.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So here's what I don't get. How, like, the cognitive games that you have to play to believe this. Either the president lied in 2015, wasn't really talking to God, or God changed his mind.
God learned, for being omniscient, he really learned a lot in 3 years.
Right?
For knowing literally everything, he still has more to learn. And this is an ad for reading Rainbow. Always keep reading and learning, kids. Yeah, no, I agree. It's so fucking stupid. And for, like, Mormons who, and even just any religious person where your focus, your focus is on the family, not to, like, where you say you care about family values, to say you have to disavow your parents.
Yep.
Like, that's such a, like, just a contrast to everything that you say you believe in. So, great. Now, like, I mean, basically, this is now we're a little less shitty. That's what I heard from this update.
Yeah. Well, and yeah.
I think, like...
It's interesting. Like, they've come a long way from Prop 8.
Sure.
Like, in a way. But it's still just, like, the point that I wanted to get at, the reason that I decided to talk about it was because you were referring to the games necessary to hold to your beliefs even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary, so that you don't have to reconsider your beliefs. The opposite happens also. A reconsideration of beliefs that were once held inviolable just because, oh, no, it's done, we've changed.
Yeah.
Like, and they will somehow believe that too, that's okay and that it always has been, or like, no, the church isn't. God works in mysterious ways. Somebody else is going to fucking say that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, that's the thing about religion is it gives you, like, at the end of any argument, you can say something like, well, God works in mysterious ways. How am I to argue that with logic and reason? Well, you can't. Like, you've created this thing that there's any argument you could get back to, well, God is all-knowing. Well, it's God's will. Well, it's God's plan. And there's, like, how do you like, if I said, well, this rock says that I should be super gay, like, who can argue? How do you argue with that? Well, I believe it. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I think. So
Kyle, are the rocks talking to you now?
there aren't any rocks around. Otherwise, they would be.
Okay.
Also, the rock talks to me. Not out loud, but in my head.
Is he shirtless at least?
His voice is very shirtless.
Good.
And sexy.
All right.
I was going to say something else about religion. Oh, this is why. Okay, so people have said to me that I'm too harsh on religion, and I think what's really important is religion as an institution is what I have a problem with. I think the institution of religion, the leadership of religions are a problem. I think they do net harm to society. I think they're bad for us. The people that believe in religion, some are bad, some are not. It's like, so the attack is, hopefully I'm not making fun of individual people, but like people that I have really good friends that are very religious and also super affirming of LGBT people, very loving and care about like what I feel like is the meaning of, let's say Christmas, the meaning of religion, of like, you know, what's really important, which is loving about people, caring, working to help people. Like those are the religious people that stand out to me and my friends.
Yep.
But I think like the institution of religion is bad. So that's why. So I feel very justified in making fun of it.
Yeah. I just had a thought too. If somebody says you're too hard on religion, I'm pretty sure God can take it. Like, why can't you?
That's true. God can take it. Why can't you? That's what I was going to say to the next guy I fuck.
Yeah. Next t-shirt.
Next t-shirt. You can buy our current t-shirt at gayishpodcast.com and then click on merch. Your bullshit is bullshit.
Yeah, we should get that guy's help. That one guy that wrote in that was like, I know WordPress. Did you see that guy?
No.
A guy wrote in that was like, I'm a WordPress expert. I will fix your index.php horse shit for you
really?
if you want.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a listener. It's not like one of those robot emails we get from time to time.
Yeah.
This was like an actual dude.
Yeah,
people like, oh, I can fix it.
So he basically said, your website is bullshit,
yeah.
and I'll fix it?
Yeah. Well, we were complaining about it on the last show, too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move on.
Okay, do it.
Sorry, this will take it forever.
Yeah.
Gayish.
Gayish.
Okay. So do you remember we talked about the Chechnya Crisis Appeal campaign that Gay Star News ran? Mm-hmm. So they raised triple their target.
Damn.
It was a massive success. They raised $13,700, which is more than triple what they were going for, which was just to raise enough money to get one person out of Chechnya.
Wow.
So they're going to be able to get over 3 people out of Chechnya now. And they say, I don't know why they said this like it helps anybody reading it. More than $13,700 has been raised. That's around 900,000 rubles.
Great. I don't know. That's probably good for if someone donated in rubles and don't know how rubles work.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, I was just excited about that. They had a fairly modest goal in mind, and they like tripled it. And
that's awesome.
I'm sure it was all us giving them a plug.
Yep.
A couple of episodes ago.
Yep. On the low-key famous podcast, Gayish.
Yep.
Where dreams come true.
Great. My dreams have come true.
Yeah? Mine
No.
have just come.
Last but not least, trans people are at a higher risk of heart attacks.
What?
Yeah, a new study has come out as if their lives aren't horrible enough.
They're already at a higher risk for like everything just because of the way society treats them, and yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
The study released today said it found that trans men are 4 times more likely than cis men to have had a heart attack, and trans women are twice as likely as cis women to have had a heart attack. The study was published in Cardiovascular Quality and Outcomes, and they're hoping that it's going to inspire future research into ways to improve trans patients' cardiovascular health. What do you think their theory is about why that's happening?
Because it's so fucking stressful.
Because it's stressful. Trans people may be at higher risk of heart attacks due to social stressors. Statistics show that they were gleaned from the Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance System, and they look at a whole bunch of different factors about a person and how they live, but an increase in social stressors, health disparity, poor socioeconomic status, and substance abuse. Increased stress levels related to neglect, abuse, mistreatment have been hypothesized to contribute to increased inflammation, which may in turn predispose to cardiovascular disease. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, interesting when you hear people in your community keep getting murdered and everyone keeps talking about how they think you're gross and don't like you. And like somehow that not being able to go to your job because people judge you. Like interesting how all that can combine and make you a little more stressed. Like,
yep. And stress kills, man. Like it really does.
Wait, stress kills men?
Well,
or stress kills man.
Stress.
Which one did you say?
Stress kills, man.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
I mean, it kills women too. Both trans and cis women.
And non-binary people.
Yep. But like, don't be stressed out. If your life is stressful, fucking change that shit because you'll have a heart attack. This is your PSA for today.
Yeah.
Also get your PSA checked. That's how they check your prostate.
You know what's really helpful to tell stressed people? Stop stressing. You really need to work overtime to figure out how to not be stressed.
Calm down.
Do it now. Hurry. We fixed you.
Great. That's the news.
So one thing I want to reach into our listener mailbag.
Ooh.
And
yeah,
say,
elbow deep.
Yeah, so far in. What mail can we pull out of the bottom of this sack? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay. Quote, "Hi, I'm T and I'm 13 years old.
Oh.
And I haven't come out to my parents yet. Could you guys talk about coming out in the next episode?" And so I wanted to mention this. So we did have, it was a long time ago, episode 32, we talked about coming out, but that was so long ago that I don't know if our opinions about coming out have changed since then. But what I really wanted to, like, first of all, acknowledge, like, I mean, especially someone who's young and struggling to come out, like, this is a common thing. You're not alone. We get emails from people that are in your same situation. And, like, these are the people that I want to especially talk to because they're, like, the most important people for, like, the future of our country. I really believe that, like, and they're the ones that are making changes and being like, hey, the earth might not be here in a little bit. Let's try to do some, or like, hey, I don't really like getting murdered too much. Let's, figure shit out. So like, I believe that like they're the most important people in the world right now.
Yeah.
And I also feel like we talk a lot about be yourself, be out, be happy. It's great. But so when I saw this, I wanted to add, there's no shame in staying in the closet if you need to.
Yeah.
So
for safety reasons, right?
There's safety as in, you are worried about your personal, like, physical harm and livelihood, like either parents or at your school or, the city you live in or whatever, that's something to think about, where you're going to live. Cause a lot of young LGBT people get kicked out of their homes. So you need to have
at
a
least in
place
the
to
Seattle
live.
area, 40% of our homeless people under 18 are LGBT.
Yeah. It's crazy. So like I think the idea that we want to say is it's like the end goal is learning to find how you can be yourself and come out. But that's not necessarily to say come out right now.
Yeah.
Because you have to find the right path to get you there. So at least like quickly, like in a short amount of time, like the thing is first think about your health and safety.
Yep.
Then I think you think about like your finances. Like if your parents are going to pay for college and they might not, if you come out, like
You're 13, isn't it like lawnmower money and like your maybe allowance?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah.
I mean, at 13, unless you're a really ambitious 13-year-old, you're probably financially fucked on your own.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
that's an optimistic way to. No, yeah. Like no 13-year-old can live on their own. You have to have support from someone, from people. So, think about your finances and come out when like it really helps to be out somewhere. So whether that's being out to a friend that you really trust or a relative you trust or a counselor or like, hey, join our Facebook group, go to Reddit. There are people that talk about being gay, even if it's online, find a way where you can talk about this stuff. Cause that's really important and helpful.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, be safe.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I wanted to give that perspective because I don't think we talk about that as much, and we should.
Yeah.
I'd like to just add that at 13, that's to have that awareness that I'm gay at 13, and to reach out to someone, to anyone. You reached out to us. You emailed us. I'm gay. Like you came out to us. That's a big deal, and I wish I'd had that personal awareness and that strength at 13 to do that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for coming out to us, and maybe that's all you can do for now. But that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I hopefully, we're some sort of comfort and voice in your ears that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, I don't think I ever like said the words, or typed or said the words until like in my 20s. So
Yeah.
that you've done that at 13, yeah, totally. That's awesome. And and hey, if you're a little gaby, which is a gay baby, which is what you are at the age of 13, and you need to come out to someone, like send us a text and just say I'm gay, and you don't have to say anything else, and we'll know what you mean, and we'll be happy for you.
And if you decide to come out and your parents kick you out, you just pack up your shit and move up here to Seattle, and you can live with Kyle.
Offer open to everyone. Everyone can live with me, no questions asked.
No, that's very sweet, and hopefully you're getting the support that you need, and keep us posted.
Yeah. Other news, speaking of little gay people.
Yeah.
The Day of Silence is today when we're recording this?
It is April 12th.
April 12th. Okay, so Friday, which might be when this comes out, probably. So it was recently. Well, you probably noticed it if you're in high school because everyone was real quiet. Mm-hmm. It's where Glisten, which is a gay and lesbian group for kids in high school, I think, young people, where they recognize the silencing of LGBT people by being silent.
Yes.
Maybe, no, I was just thinking, like, shouldn't we recognize, like, silencing of LGBT people by just, like, yelling?
Yeah, it should be the day of yelling.
Yeah, just, like, you get to yell everything you say, and everyone has to deal with it. It should be the opposite. But anyway.
I was going to say we're running late this week because my work is stupid, that maybe we should pretend that the episode is late on purpose because we were silent.
We were very quiet. Well, no, it's coming out on the Day of Silence, which is opposite of what we should do.
Great, now I don't need to release until Saturday.
No, we should just whisper for the rest of the time. Great. We're very quiet.
Great, yeah, bring it.
But for those that recognize it, awesome, good work, way to go. And if you didn't, then I don't know, be quiet another time.
Yeah, just pretend you have laryngitis.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, cool. Do you want to talk about beards?
Yeah, let's talk about beards.
Who wants to?
I don't know what to do first. Beards are hair that grows out of your face.
It could be.
Or
it could be. Well, do you want to talk about the beard, the obvious step, the beard on your face? Because I have some things about that.
Let's talk about the beard on your face.
Okay.
Gross.
You just say that because you can't get one.
Shut up.
No. What do you? I feel like we should start with a personal, since this is. I mean, we've mentioned it. No. Okay, great. We'll move on. I mean, the thing is, I have enough beard for the both of us.
Oh God. Okay. Let's start with that segment.
Oh, okay.
Let's start with that segment.
Wait, should I do my numbers or not?
Nope.
Okay.
I am incapable of growing a beard. I can't grow facial hair. I never have been able to. Medically verified by a doctor, my testosterone is like in the lesbian range. It's just not in the cards for me. And now what little facial hair I have is coming in just like white. So it's never going to be a thing that I'll ever do. And but to personalize it, especially now in modern times, beards are such a symbol of masculinity and masculine identity. They're very in. Like, I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but like I see way more beards than I used to on like just in general.
Yeah. No, they're definitely like a trend and a thing that. And
I actually have some pretty like real, actual deep-seated shame about that. Like, it's this thing that my body won't do that I'm supposed to, or that I'm like, I mean, I didn't do anything to deserve this, but it's like, it's weird. It's really weird. Like, there's something like primal or visceral going on in how I like my feelings about it.
Yeah. How do you think that affects you in like, do you think that affects you in dating or confidence or like, I don't know. How do you see that affect you in a day-to-day way?
Day-to-day, it only comes up when people are talking about epic beards. Like dudes, even straight dudes, maybe especially straight dudes, talk about each other's beards all the time. Like, oh, you should grow that out. Or, that's super epic. Or like, hey, nice grooming, bro, or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I just put some lint shave cream. What? I don't know what items people use on their beards, but
because your beard just comes in magically awesome, and you don't have to do anything to take care of it.
My gravestone is going to say magically awesome. I would. Well, it's but that's so interesting to me because when I was thinking about this topic, especially when I was growing up, I got body hair sooner than everyone I know. And like, it still is actually a source of real shame for me. Like on the other side, man, you're fucked if you do, you're fucked if you don't.
Yep.
Grinder. That's their new tagline. But like, I was thinking about why is that? Like, why did like other people, like what you're saying totally makes sense of, I view that in a certain way of like, even though it shouldn't have anything to do, doesn't have anything to do with masculinity. Like I view that as something that's masculine. And to me, it was, I think anything any way that I stood out was bad in my mind growing up, especially in junior high, being gay, trying to fit in with everyone. When I stood out for some reason, like that was horrible. I didn't like that. Yeah. So like, I remember I even told my mom this, and we like trimmed my armpit hair because it was so long. Oh, wow. And like, even now, like, so then when I went into college, I would like shave and just leave like a patch. Like I've done various things in my stages of like acceptance of my own body hair.
Hirsuteness.
Huh?
Hirsuteness.
I mean, yeah, beards do look good in a hirsuteness. Here's a suiteness, Kyle. Mm-hmm. That's a picture we're going to post to Instagram. But I mean, it is kind of nice now that beards are a thing because like it's much easier to grow out a beard than like shave every day.
So beards are so much more of a thing, I think, especially in the gay community, but I could be wrong about that. Yeah. But I kind of feel like I stick out. Like I'm pretty careful to shave what little facial hair that I have, and I'm pretty baby-faced all the time. That's just like what I've adopted from my own personal style because I have no other options. And I kind of feel like I stick out sometimes because of that. Like I've had people come up and like touch my face before.
Because it's like, wow, this is what a face without a beard looks like.
Yeah.
Ooh.
At least in Seattle.
Yeah. No, I think that's totally true. I actually have a number about this.
Ooh.
Somewhere.
A phone number.
Someone who loves babyface gentlemen.
I also think that there's some serious psychological something going on. I don't particularly like beards. And so my already like weird dating issues are compounded by like it's they're not a negative. I'm not anti-beard because there are a lot of things that I am like weirdly prejudiced against.
Yeah.
Not skin color, but like I prefer dudes without beards or very, very short facial hair. And I wonder if that's just like jealousy. Like if I can't date somebody with a full ass giant beard because I hate them secretly in here somewhere.
Well,
you know?
I mean, more and more
I hate you, Kyle.
Yeah, I know. Well, more and more I'm realizing a lot like things that I don't like about other people are absolutely based in jealousy. Like my disdain for attractive people that are successful is like so much a projection of like I don't feel attractive, so I could absolutely see that. It's so fucked up that like we both have like literally the opposite in terms of like facial hairness or hairness, and we both came away with disliking it.
Yeah.
Like it's so fucked up that we have. I think partly that's just human nature is to focus on flaws and negatives, but also part of being gay is like whatever I am isn't right and isn't enough, and so then you start attributing that to other things that it's really about being gay and society doesn't accept that. But then you like start assigning it to all these different things like I did of like, I have hair, so that's weird. So I don't like it.
Yeah.
And like, we can find a way to beat ourselves up over anything, no matter which way it goes, tall, short, big, skinny, you know, like no matter what you are, you can find a way to dislike what you are.
Something else I will say, you touch on the standing out thing being part of it, part of the shame of it all. And I wasn't a late bloomer, but I was very, very young for my class. I have a fall birthday. My birthday's November. So when I was 4, about to turn 5, my parents tried to get me into kindergarten. The school district said, no, he's too young. So they made me wait a whole year. So then when I was 5, almost 6, I started kindergarten, and they were like, oh, he should have been here last year. He can read. He can do.
Well, because you're also smart.
Yeah.
If you were an idiot 5-year-old, they would have been like, "You fit right in."
Yeah. I feel odd saying that, but yes, that's,
Well, I
that's
said it
why.
for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for bragging for me, Kyle.
Yep.
So they bumped me up. I was in kindergarten for like maybe 6 weeks, and they bumped me up to first grade.
I'm sorry, is this your brag about skipping kindergarten? Wow, Mike. Getting real cocky over here.
But then I think everybody in my class was older than me. I was like the youngest in my class by kind of a wide margin. And so when everybody started going through puberty and we had to like do showers at school and stuff, I for sure noticed like, wow, everybody's body is way different and mine's not doing that yet, and that's very confusing. Add to it a sexuality component of, not understanding the feelings that I'm having, and that was really very difficult. So a lot of my like inability to have more masculine hair is very much tied up in all of the fucking horseshit that we go through in puberty, especially as gay people.
It's just crazy because I'm still am to some degree. I'm learning. I'm getting better at accepting myself, but like as I am. But I have been so jealous of people that didn't have any body hair, like, and sometimes still am, because you don't have to just like, you don't have to deal with anything. And I also have sensitive skin, so like if I go to get like a wax, I can't do it because I will literally bleed, then have bumps, and then the hair grows back. So like that's not an option for me. I'm a very hairy sensitive dude. I'm like a large, I don't know. I'm like a wait. I'll think of something.
You're like,
I'm just like, who's like Harry from Harry and the Hendersons.
Great,
just
good
a
job.
real sensitive wood ape.
Great.
And I remember similarly in junior high, like someone I could tell wanted to see my armpit hair and was trying to get me to raise my arms when we were in basketball, and we're wearing, like, that's one of the few times we were wearing sleeveless jerseys, and I like refused to do it because I didn't want them, like I was so embarrassed by them. So it was like the people that, like, I was the same thing as you but opposite, in that I was embarrassed that, like, wow, no one else has hair, and why is that, and what's wrong? Like, I don't think I thought it.
And the universe brought us together, Kyle.
I'll give, if you
begin
could do, like,
the healing.
If I could donate some of my hair to you, I would, because it's a little much sometimes.
I wouldn't take it.
That's a good. It's been through a lot.
Also, my fucking ex-husband, that asshole. No, I won't talk like that about him. But he had like 4 o'clock shadow. Like his facial hair grew really fast, and then just like completely hairless from Adam's apple to taint. and then
Weird. Okay.
And then hairy legs, but like, I don't know. Part of me thought that he was like somehow like secretly getting rid of all of it and just not telling me.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's true.
I like, and that's part of the problem for me is like, great, I have a great beard, but I have a great beard all over. So like, that's not always pleasant. Like, if I don't shave, my beard will go from my chin to my dick, like which is from from clit to clat, from tip to taint, like just be so like, yeah, I don't like it.
Your neck, your back, your pussy, your crack,
my legs, my back. Well, let me tell you the numbers.
Okay, let's hear the numbers.
Unless there's more emotions you have.
We've opened the can.
Okay, we started early. Usually we don't, like, we work up to emotional. Like, we started right there.
I didn't cry.
Oh, should I make you?
No.
No one likes you.
Oh God.
Okay.
Well, I was telling you when you got here, they made a change to my medication. The doctor, I'm still on all of my ADD meds, which is great, but like, he's like taking me off of the antidepressants, and I'm realizing that that's like, I'm having all kinds of feelings now, and they're not all bad. Like just I'm having,
some are just feelings that humans have.
things are funner now,
Yeah.
and like I'm happier, but I'm also having like real down, like, but it all makes sense. I'm just realizing that the antidepressant that I was on, at least at the dosage that I was on, was just like I said to you earlier, it was like an emergency brake on my feelings.
Yeah.
Like all feelings.
Yeah.
Didn't matter which ones they were. So it's been I thought maybe I'd cry about this, but I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, we'll work on that.
Yeah, okay, great.
I changed my medication too, which I talked about, and so now I'm like evening out. So like,
You're way more together today.
I know, like before, like I've been all over the place, and I have randomly started crying at times when I was like first getting it, but mine is the opposite. Like I got off of another medication and started taking a new medication, which has caused my emotions to go all over the place, and it's been real fun to handle. But now I'm like evening out, so I also probably won't cry, but who knows? Maybe my meds will throw me a curveball. And
Great.
Someone asked us to talk about, really good idea. They asked us to talk about therapy,
Oh,
which
yeah.
we haven't had. Like we talked about, like we're in therapy, and I've been seeing a new therapist recently, which is great.
Don't do it. They're all quacks, just like chiropractors.
Well, okay. I have a differing opinion that we'll explore later. No, get in therapy if you can, because it's just, you need it. I don't know who you are, but you need it. Trust me. Being a person fucks you up. Why is that? Stupid life. Wow, this is getting... Okay, let's talk about beards on your
Moving
face and numbers. Okay, so this section I called To Beard or Not To Beard. So this is just literally beards on your face and body hair. So there were several different studies that I found on this article on Queerty. So first, according to misstravel.com...
Miss-travel?
M-I-S-S?
Oh, it's not MS.
Nope.
Like Ms. Travel?
Nope. Miss,
Okay, great.
like I originally said. Very
That's not-
clearly.
I'm just... Yeah, okay.
Michael.
Fuck! Okay, go!
Remember when they stood on those? Never mind. Okay. According to misstravel.com, 58% of gay men like body hair.
Okay.
It's almost two-thirds, or more than almost two-thirds. Not close. 58. I'll just keep going with 58% of gay men like body hair. They also asked straight women how they feel about body hair, and 61% of women prefer no body hair.
Interesting.
So it's kind of opposite for gay men versus women
Okay.
about like what they prefer.
Yeah.
Also, according to this survey, almost half of gay men manscape.
Okay, how is that defined, though?
Sometimes,
Like, is that like any removal whatsoever of any hair? Like, if you trim your pubes, does that count as manscaping, or is this like more?
let me write into
Oh,
Miss
God,
Travel.
okay. You get what I'm
She's
asking,
I
right?
do.
Like,
I do. I don't know the answer.
Okay, great.
Much. I mean, and there are more studies, so there's just, I'm going to keep not knowing.
I'm sure the very, very strict rules that misstravel.com uses for their studies really precisely defined what manscaping was as per their question.
Great.
Yeah.
What's
we're
the
not
margin of error on this study?
gonna- plus or minus 100?
Okay, great.
I don't know. Also, unrelated, like, I hate the word manscaping.
Okay.
I think there are so many words we add, like a man purse or like a manny instead of a nanny. Like, I think there are all these words that we feel weird that they're too feminine for men, so we have to change them to make men feel better.
Okay.
It's like Dr. Pepper when they released a 10-calorie drink instead of a 0-calorie because that makes
yeah.
you more manly. Like,
Yeah.
I just think we do all these things.
Is that why?
Yes, they had yes, I am in no way involved in any of this or looked up any of that, but yes, that has to be why. 10-calorie drink so that men could feel okay with it. And they had this commercial that was like, it was too obvious. It was like just dudes in an army tank view. You know, you don't drink Diet Dr. Pepper because we're men and we're buff and whatever. So drink this 10 calories. 10 calories makes all the difference. Huh?
It's really interesting. The beer with the lowest carbs, they named Michelob Ultra.
Yes, they have to do that shit so that men feel okay caring about calories, which is stupid.
The ad campaign for that Dr. Pepper 10 was literally Dr. Pepper 10 is not for women.
Oh, yeah, okay, then yes, confirmed. Confirmed that that's what they were going for. It's just like you don't have to name it a man thing. You don't have to be like, this is part of our society's fear about being too feminine, so like you can just call it the thing it's called and not man it up to make it okay. Anyhow, another study, so 2 more studies on how people prefer their hair, and it seemed to be like the same regardless of which one it was. So in the Journal of Evolutionary Biology, they did a study of people in Brazil and the Czech Republic.
Okay.
And I want to show you this picture that they showed the women and men and see which one you prefer.
Ooh.
So they took this a dude's picture and then feminized his face and then masculinized his face and then added and removed facial hair to see what they liked, what people liked and didn't like. So I want to show you this picture. We'll post it on Instagram. Maybe?
I'm so excited you're giving me a test.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's just to see what your preference.
It's a test, Kyle.
It's a test for sure. This is okay. Also, okay. Here's the test.
Oh, okay. I have to
And
pick
I
up.
want you. There's like this like Brady Bunch style, except bigger chart of all these faces.
There's
but
20
that's, like,
faces.
like the same dude, but with different levels of hair and everything. I personally would have an orgy with all of them. Like, if they could all fuck me, I'd be totally down. So I don't know what that says or where I fit in the survey.
They all kind of look like my husband.
Oh.
My ex-husband.
Does that...
Did I make it sad?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But which one do you have one that stands out as your preference?
Yep.
Which one? And then I'll tell you what other people liked.
Raw face, light stubble.
Raw. Okay, yeah. Also, they called no hair. Oh no, they called it before they made any adjustments like masculinize or feminize. They called it the raw face, which soup's raw. Okay, raw. You liked raw face, and what was the one?
Light stubble.
Light stubble. So there's clean shaven, light stubble, heavy stubble, and full beard. I think I'm on the like heavy stubble side, and I like the masculine face because I feel like he'd yell at me. And that makes me happy in a sexual way. I mean, honestly, I'd like literally fuck every one of them one at a time.
Yep.
But
Yep.
interesting.
Or at the same time.
2 at a time. Or 20 at a time.
You DDMDFDHDN.
So someone added in if you did it in the ears. Which thank you for
That was
continuing
Nessa. That was Nessa.
Oh.
Yeah. We know her through Big Fatty.
Well, let's see how you stack up to straight women.
Let's see.
Women prefer heavy stubble first, followed by... Is that your disagreement noise? Followed by short stubble. And at the ones they didn't like were full beards and clean shaven men. So this is just on like how attractive they thought they were. And it's interesting because so the idea is like if it's just for a fling, the scruff is the best. The light scruff is the best. If it's for commitment, a little more hair is better.
Interesting.
Which, yeah, I think it's like this, what they say is this evolutionary thing of if you have more body hair, you know, supposedly that says you are able to reproduce, that you're masculine, that you can defend the nest or whatever, or like
The tribe.
sure, or eat predators or whatever you need to do.
Eat predators.
You know, just really
That beard says I'm going to gnaw on some tiger.
they can't get me. I mean, tigers, great facial hair.
That's true.
Lions, even better.
Oh my.
Bears, nailed it. Okay. However, I really I stole this from Georgia from My Favorite Murder and then added in my own, like, I love saying whomever. Anyway, gay men, even though women tended to prefer the, you know, light or medium hair, gay men preferred hairier, like they liked hairier men even better. So the writers of this survey said, quote, homosexual men preferred hairier stimuli than heterosexual women, supporting past findings that homosexual men have strong preferences for masculine traits.
So I'm fucked. What? So I'm fucked.
Yes.
Great.
Correct. The finding of this is no one will love you. Wow, I was trying to find a different way to finish that, but I couldn't. But that's the thing of like, I mean, in going back to misstravel.com, I mean, it's just above half for gay men. So it's not like there's a definitive everyone likes body hair or no one likes body. Like, there is
My thought, actually, what I thought you were going to say before you went into it is that they like the extremes. That they either want them hairless or Chewbacca, and like it's the ones in the middle were passed over.
no. It seems like the ones in the middle are the. So last study, Manhunt, 2013. Oh no, yeah, okay. In Manhunt 2013 study,
Not to be confused with Mancunt, which is not a good name for your
Nope.
butthole. I don't like it at all.
have people said that to you on Hookup App?
Yeah.
Ooh, boy pussy. That's right up there with
No.
boy pussy.
Yeah. No.
Don't say it.
Pussy.
What?
Pussy.
Ew.
No.
Like with a B? No, I don't. Okay. According to Manhunt, 79% of gay men wanted other men to leave their body hair, like leave it as is.
Okay.
So that's like the natural look. Like go with the natural look, and only 21% wanted people to shave it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like part of this is just everyone likes something different.
Yeah.
You can. That's the cool thing. I feel like nowadays is like if there's a thing out there that you can do with your body, someone will want it and like it. So just be you.
Be butch, be fabulous, be you.
Be hairy. Be clean shaven. Be you. Doesn't flow off the tongue as much.
See you next week.
Shave your tongue if that's a real problem for you. Okay, those are the numbers on hair.
Great.
Yeah.
So.
So.
I love the title of this Wikipedia article that I found for today's show.
Okay.
List of presidents of the United States with facial hair.
Ooh.
Like somebody passionate enough about this made a Wikipedia article for it, and ours got fucking pulled down. This shit gets to stay up here.
You should see the Wikipedia page about presidents' pubes. It's real interesting. You'll never guess what Abraham Lincoln had. It's the top hat. It just goes straight up above his dick. That's and then you leave a line in the middle.
The Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, it's the Abe Lincoln of pubes.
Oh God, go to your nearest salon and ask for the Abe Lincoln. See what they give
Faggots
you.
love that shit. They love a good top hat on top of their. Anyway,
So I don't know if you were you going to talk about the waxing and waning of beards in society.
yes,
Okay,
but not for presidents.
well, so I think that this is going to dovetail a little bit with some of that because it turns out that almost none of the founding fathers had facial hair whatsoever. But then between 1860,
Britain, I blame them.
yeah, they all had accents.
No mustachiation without representation.
That's fantastic.
Is it? Okay.
But then the taxes on razors got too high because between 1861 and 1913, so that's like what? 39 and 13 is 40, 50, 52 years. All but two presidents wore either beards or mustaches during their tenure in office.
Until 1913, is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah. And then since 1913, zero.
Wow.
Not a single president has had facial hair.
Until today? Like still?
Yeah. President-elect Harry Truman briefly grew a mustache and a goatee, which he jokingly referred to as a Jeff Davis. Apparently that was very funny in the 40s. But yeah, no president since 1913 has had facial hair.
Did Jeff Davis create Garfield?
I think, yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, same person? Okay, I get the
He and
joke
Harry
then.
Truman are really good friends.
Again, that's so funny. I hate Mondays.
No,
Well-
he meant Jefferson Davis, who was the president of the Confederacy during the Civil War.
Gotcha.
Because
Well-
the Civil War is always funny.
It's so funny. Garfield. You fighting for the South? Who knew? So
We should start that rumor, actually, that all of Garfield is an allegory for the Civil War, and that Garfield is the South,
Yeah.
and Odie is the North. And
What's lasagna?
it's slavery. He loves that shit.
yeah.
Of course.
Great.
So, I like, you know those white powdered wigs that people wear?
Yeah.
Have we talked about why they wear them?
Because they're awesome? I don't know.
Because who doesn't want long, beautiful white locks? No, like what? It was like
Because they all had mange, and they
Well,
need to cover that shit up.
but worse, it was like something like syphilis or some kind of like something that they would like catch would make their hair like all fall out. So people that could afford to have a wig on would like one hide their like gross, disgusting like STI hair.
Yeah.
And like,
what were they doing with their scalp?
Did you know you just rub it right in that butthole?
Yeah.
Ooh, that actually a thing that I've seen that people like is like rubbing your beard in someone's butt when you're rimming them.
Yeah.
I'm rubbing my beard as if that will help demonstrate to everyone. Can you hear it? Not really.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. That's what it sounds like when I'm rubbing my beard in your butt.
Great.
Oh wait, did you have any analysis on why that is?
Well, so
Does the Wikipedia article on this have many references?
beards and mustaches fell out of favor due to health reasons, as described on the PBS website pertaining to a documentary on tuberculosis.
Oh boy.
Quote, most men at the turn of the 20th century featured stylish beards or mustaches, but showing off a smooth face became a new trend once public health officials maintained that men could transmit dangerous infectious particles through the scruff of their facial hair.
Huh.
Now that consumption is no longer consumption, but tuberculosis, and is not hereditary but infectious, the theory of science is that the beard is infected with the germs of tuberculosis. That's from an article in Harper's Weekly from 1903.
Oh my God, this is like straight people's version of like AIDS, where they were like, I can get tuberculosis from touching your beard.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So,
People are, well, I mean, I can't say people are stupid. I would believe if science said that. Like, I'd be like, oh yeah, sure. It's a real germy in there.
but this was such a thing. Do you know what I'm going to talk about next?
No.
Richard Nixon probably lost the 1960 election to John F. Kennedy because he had 5 o'clock shadow on national television. So it was the first televised presidential debate, and scholars are actually not in agreement about whether this was the turning point for it or not. But Nixon rolled in to this
Debate?
debate, the first ever televised debate.
Wow.
He rolled in. He'd just gotten out of the hospital. He'd had a leg injury that, like, he lost 20 pounds, so he looked gross already and gaunt. Yeah, and then he
Did it say what the leg injury was?
had an infection of some kind.
I just, it's so interesting because it's like you could get these weird things. Like he was in the hospital because like they put bugs on his leg to try to eat the skin off him because he like, you know, because a dog touched him, you know, like there's such really weird, interesting things when you look back on it. Anyway.
Right. In this case, I don't think your weird theory is true.
No? I really went for it in my guess. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay. So he showed up 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah. So, okay, so he rolls in for this debate. I'm doing some of this from memory, which is not good. And then, so television as a factor in presidential elections was sort of unknown then. Other presidents had been on TV, but like it wasn't a horse race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Kennedy rolls in looking like a stud. He had just been in California. He had a tan. He was cleanly shaven, and they asked one of the producers, like just before the debate, was like, "Hey, Kennedy, do you want some makeup?" And he's like, "No, I look awesome." So then they turned to Nixon and they're like, "Do you want makeup?" And Nixon like did the like shifty-eyed look at Kennedy, like, "Oh, if I say yes, then I'm a fucking pansy or
yeah.
something," and said, "No, I'm good." Then sent an aide to a department store nearby who came back with this product called, what was that shit called? Lazy Shave. Nixon refused makeup and instead sent an aide to a nearby drugstore to pick up a package of Lazy Shave. Lazy Shave hides the beard, claimed the box.
Uh-oh.
A color cake for between shaves. It was basically
Like makeup on your beard?
it was basically beard makeup
I love
to cover it up, and it's like this like you need a shovel to put it on your face, a trowel to put it on your face. It's like this gross like pancakey makeup. So then the under the hot lights, like his makeup was kind of melting, and
no.
he had serious 5 o'clock shadow, and this is another thing that people are not in agreement about. Scholars are not in agreement about this, but I'm going to go with the one that fits my narrative.
Yeah, because it's fun.
So people who watched it on television said that Kennedy won, and people who listened to it on the radio said Nixon won.
Oh.
And so
I want to, like, we should bring that back. Like, imagine if presidents debated on a podcast.
yes.
Like, how much would that
Absolutely.
change? Because you'd have to listen to their words more than, like, if we
You wouldn't
got
have to
rid
look
of
at Trump's fucking stupid ass melted
well,
face.
hey, that's a plus for all of us.
Yeah.
We should look at, like, how many babies are born 9 months after the presidential debate and see if there's like a real dip after people see his face.
Dip, 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 dip. So yeah, also it's kind of gay in a way if you think about it, that like Kennedy won because he was hot.
Like,
Like that was the first time, arguably the first time that we like chose the hot one.
yeah, this is the first time in America where we were like, oh, yeah, hot people are better at leading.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I bet the 5 o'clock shadow would look hotter to people.
It
But
might.
would it look more presidential?
It's an interesting question.
Thank you.
Pete Buttigieg is clean shaven.
I was while you were, I was listening pretty much, but also trying to look up Pete Buttigieg with a beard. I didn't see any immediately.
So just 2 weeks prior to the first debate, he discussed his facial hair. Nixon discussed his facial hair with television anchor Walter Cronkite. He said, quote, "I get letters from women, for example, sometimes, and men who support me, and they say, 'Why do you wear that heavy beard when you're on television?' Actually, I don't try, but I can shave within 30 seconds before I go on television and still have a beard, unless we put some powder on, as we have done today." So...
Man, they're bringing the big guns, bringing in Walt to consult on this campaign.
that just gives me an excuse to talk about Nixon some more. Mm-hmm. I'm barely, like...
You tied it into being gay.
You-
You said and men.
Yeah, exactly.
Totes.
So Nixon, when the secret White House tapes were released during the Watergate
Yeah.
investigation...
Didn't go well.
Didn't go well.
Nope.
But I thought it was really interesting. This is what Nixon had to say in secret with... what's his name? Henry Kissinger,
Sure.
about gay people. Nixon, let me say something before we get off the gay thing. I don't want my views misunderstood. I am the most tolerant person on that of anybody in this shop. They have a problem. They're born that way. You know that. That's all. I think they are. Anyway, my point is, though, when I say they're born that way, the tendency is there. But my point is that Boy Scout leaders, YMCA leaders, and others bring them in that direction, and teachers. And if you look over the history of societies, you will find, of course, that some of the highly intelligent people, Oscar Wilde, Aristotle, etc., 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 were all homosexuals. Nero, of course, was in a public way, in with a boy in Rome. But the point is, look at that. Once a society moves in that direction, the vitality goes out of that society. Now, isn't that right, Henry? I won't read the rest of this. It's a big, long script. But what's really interesting is that Nixon, in the privacy of his own White House, is basically on board with, like, yeah, gay people are born that way. I'm not saying I want to, like, help them or have gay marriage be a thing, but, like, let's just leave them alone. He says pretty much over and over again, let's just leave them alone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did he have a public stance on this? Like,
I mean, I think in the 70s, which Nixon wasn't president until the 70s. No. Well, yeah, the 70s, give or take. He was elected in 68 and became president in 69. That was when, like, the homosexuals was a documentary that came out on national TV that really made it look like gay guys were all jacking off in movie theaters and were going to steal your children. All of which is true, but that's when America first, like, got the picture that
Yeah.
was what it meant to be gay,
Yeah.
and I think that he was.
so to have someone that was in some way defending gay people, even though it wasn't as obviously strong as it should be, but
Yeah.
it was like rare or
Yep. Yep. Nixon said, I'll leave it at this. Nixon said, the Greeks had plenty of it. By God, I'm not going to have a situation where we pass along a law indicating, well, now kids just go out and be gay. They can do it. Just leave them alone. That's a lifestyle I don't want to touch.
He was leave Britney alone.
Yeah.
Leave gays alone.
Yeah. And then was otherwise just a horrible, horrible fucker that
And then didn't work out.
didn't work out so
Spoiler
great.
alert.
And now he's dead.
And whoops, you're dead. So the point is, don't have a 5 o'clock shadow really ever on television.
Yep.
Well, okay, let me tell you a little bit more about, by tell you, I'm going to talk about how I've seen, and Dan helped provide some of this information on like what we've seen in body hair trends in gay porn.
Ooh. Okay.
And I tried looking this up. I think both Dan and I looked up some information to like see which porn stars had
So much. We had to look at so much porn.
So many porn stars is real difficult.
Your life is
So
extra hard.
It was very hard,
really hard.
then
hard
very
job.
messy, then soft, then hard all over again. It was quite the journey. Okay.
Well, lucky for you, I only watched Sean Cody, and they're all hairless.
Oh,
twinks,
great. Okay,
right?
you have no
So-
opinions about this then.
They're not.
Okay.
They're not. Sean Cody has had more body hair even lately.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is the general thing that I put together between both of our views, and you can see if you agree or disagree.
They disagree.
Great. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Okay. In the 70s, it was more leather, so you had beards and mustaches.
Yeah. Like big mustaches, right? Like
big,
handlebar.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were wearing jackets.
Like Burt
and
Reynolds
BDSM
mustaches.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, great. Do you want me to shut up now?
It wouldn't hurt.
Okay, great.
No.
Great.
In the 80s, it was about smooth bodies, no beard. Like it was kind of the twink, or like just everything was hairless.
Yeah, George Michael and Wham.
Was he hairless?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe. I don't think that they showed that. I just always think of the... Okay, never mind.
We're not. Yeah. 90s. So manscaping is first used in the 2000s, early 2000s. So like my analysis of that is straight people, like gay people do it earlier, and then straight people like make up that word and then started using that widely. So it happened in the 90s that gays started doing it, of actually having hair and manscaping.
Okay.
Because we start everything, and then straight people. Well, I mean, people of color and gay people of color start everything. Then white gay people take everything, and then straight people take everything. It's the pattern that literally everything has gone through.
Yeah. Gentrification. It's the circle of life.
The
The circle jerk of life.
So in the 90s, you started having some hair, manscaped, trimmed, that kind of hair. In the 2000s, you had like really just like the jacked, like that was when it started being like you were like ripped jocks. But you could start having things like a tattoo, like some hair, like you were allowed to have some things that made you quote unquote weird or different. And nowadays it's just like whatever you want. You can be like, I mean, more and more people have tattoos just in general, but you can have hair, you can have your natural hair. I feel like I see less of the like, I've completely shaven my entire body for this. So it's more like acceptable to have your natural hair.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that kind of general trend in porn?
Oh. I mean, I wasn't watching a lot of gay porn in the 80s, but like
me as a negative 1-year-old,
as a society, I think
Neither
that you're generally
onto
something. Sure.
Thank you. Well, I mean,
on my dick. No,
you're onto something, and it's my face. What I think is that this actually mirrors the trend in society of our acceptance of, like masculinity in gayness. Like when we had the hairless twinks, the shaved was the trend. That's also the same time we have movies with that when they show a gay person, it is so, you know, the stereotype you think of with a lisp and and it's because femme, no hair,
yeah.
You know, Queenie, like, because those are the people that have no choice but to be out because it's like they are who they are. And like, that's what we saw and assumed was gay. And then I think now, like today, the fact that we see gay porn with men of all, like starting with, you know, straight men, like actually like doing their manscaping.
Yeah.
And today where you can kind of look any way and still be gay, we're starting to get to accept any kind of masculinity is acceptable. Any kind of person can be gay. And I feel like kind of what we talk about, in fact, of the gay stereotype is it's going away, and it's reflected in the diversity that you start to see through porn. And particularly like through the body hair. And I think that like somehow that like really connects to like what's acceptable in gayness and gay identity.
What is acceptable in gayness and gay identity, Kyle?
Okay, here's the shitty part. Because my belief is that like the people that kind of start any of the gay movements or trends tend to be the ones that are the most marginalized. So it was like, you know, the super feminine guys, the trans people, cross-dressers, people of color, like like I think those are all the people that lead the way. And then what follows is what's now being accepted of like people can have all kinds of varieties of like seeming masculine or not, or having hair or not. And like the shitty part is I think we have a tendency of forgetting all the work that the people that had nothing else they could do but be out.
Yeah.
Like we forget that they are the reason we can be who we are, because I mean, it even is like follows my story personally of like, I just blended in cause I could. And now that I'm out, like I want to make sure to remember and respect all the people that had to do it before me. Cause they like, I got to choose when I came out, and they didn't get that luxury. Yeah. So I feel like, you know, even it's great that the culture is going towards being able to be all kinds of gay, and that's femme or masc or, you know, hairy or not, or big or short or fat or whatever. But at the same time, that acceptance then might leave the more femme people, the people that have been out all this time and helping us pave the way for this, like leaving them behind, which is like a really shitty kind of place to leave those gay people that blaze the trail for us. Am I making sense?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm bored.
Did you say you're bored?
I did. I don't know why I said that.
I mean, I have an idea.
Slip, I guess. I am on board.
Oh, okay.
I'm on board.
Okay.
I think it's funny how it works with trailblazers, right? Because in this space, they can't keep being a trailblazer, right? Like, as we are catching up, it's not like they're moving on to the next thing, right? It's just that society has changed and they no longer stick out as much. And so I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I think what is a bad thing is if now we're like, oh, okay, like, but actually gay people can be masked. And so, like, I think what we do then is like, oh, mask is acceptable because that fits in more with my idea of a general person in society. And then I think we leave them behind actually through that. So I think what is important, you know, both like in recognizing who the trailblazers were, it's important to make sure that we also support, stand up, are not, you know, what is it? Sexist, feminist, anti, anyway.
Misogynistic?
Yes. That we also recognize what they have done for us and not leave them to our behinds. Leave them behinds.
I didn't want to interrupt, but can I counterpoint a little bit your theory?
Boy, sure.
So my belief is that the shift in porn from like hairy bodies, the original shift from hairy bodies in the 70s into the super smooth, like often muscled, no tattoos, blonde hair of the 80s, early 90s was a response to the AIDS epidemic. It was like, those are the bodies of the guys that got AIDS. And now we need to be turned on, I need to see healthy guys. I need to see their muscles so they can't have hair that's covering up their physique. Like,
oh, interesting.
They need to be super tan. They need to be this like California like model of what healthy is, and like they need to be musclier. So like the bodies went from like these thin hairy guys to like these like overly built falcon guys.
I think guys that I've met that have HIV are the most fit and muscular guys that I know. Like, and
but that's new.
That's sure.
That's
sure,
the
sure.
2019 perspective. I'm talking about AIDS epidemic, like no prep, no cocktail, like people dying.
Yeah.
So AIDS was to body hair for gay people as tuberculosis was to straight guy beards.
Exactly. See, my metaphor. It's really
And
ringing
syphilis
true.
to white
And
wigs.
syphilis to wigs.
I think we're
I
onto
did confirm
something.
it was syphilis.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, syphilis. I'm so smart.
Mm.
I know so much about syphilis.
So every major change in hair, it's a disease.
It's really
that
due to
causes
some big disease that everyone's like, ooh, and then they change. Wow.
it. So one day we're going to have like a bird flu epidemic and nobody will have eyebrows anymore.
I mean, now I'm thinking like anti-vaxxers and what they're going to believe about body hair. and
They're all
how
going to be
that's
dead.
gonna-
It's fine.
Okay, great. Now their kids are going to be dead. They're going to be alive and fighting.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
they'll die.
Someone pointed out something that like I'd never thought of. Anti-vaxxers themselves are vaccinated.
Yeah.
Like, which is like, it's hard. It's really like I didn't, I think about them and their kids and like not caring if they live or not or whatever, or thinking they're doing the right thing or whatever. But it's like, do you know that you're vaccinated? How much autism do you have? Like,
There was an anti-vaxxer on Facebook who's a friend of a friend. I'm not directly connected to them, but we're often on the same like yelling
I was
matches
going to
on
say, did you
Facebook.
yell at them?
But in an unrelated thread, they were bitching about, why don't we have seatbelts on school buses? Why is that okay to put all these kids together on a bus with no seatbelts? It's like, I've never heard a better metaphor for vaccination. Like, why do we let all these kids hang out with God knows what diseases
Yeah.
unvaccinated?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. People are stupid.
People are fucking stupid. Your
Um,
bullshit is bullshit.
Yeah. According to the shirt you're wearing, if you buy it at gayishpodcast.com. Do you want to take a break?
Yeah.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
So are we back?
No, we're back.
We're back!
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do our gays and straightest.
We're going to do our gays and straightest, but first,
But first-
our website is gayishpodcast.com.
Do we need to bump up on the list our Patreon if you want
Yeah.
to support independent gay podcast creation? You can go to a website and really just
Patreon.com
/gay.
/gayish podcast.
Money option giving numbers ranging from 2 to a lot. So go ahead and check that out.
Check that out.
But also we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Gayish Podcast or /Gayish Podcast.
Our hotline, you can leave us voice messages or text mails, is 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
And our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
It is.
And thanks.
That's great.
I feel bad when I like get into periods of like a little bit heavier depression. I'm not able to get back to people or like do things in a timely manner, or like I feel bad about it, but I still feel like we read most stuff, whether
Yeah.
so I just hope people know that sometimes we're not always able to get back, but we still. There have been so many nice things about people saying like really sweet, caring things.
Oh,
about-
God, our Facebook group is ridiculous.
They're so nice. We don't know how to deal with all your feelings, but we love it. But we appreciate it, and sometimes it's hard.
Yes,
to,
your life wouldn't have meaning without gayish. I get
yes,
it.
we
It's
know.
fine.
We know. You'd definitely be straight if you didn't hear us. I get it.
Yep.
Gayest and straightest.
Gayest and straightest?
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, great. So the straightest thing about me this week, the Jeep is in the repair shop, and
no.
it was the conversation that I had with the guy on the phone today. He was like, "Yeah, you have a little bit of leaking oil around your main seal, and we're pretty sure that it's a problem. That's a vacuum problem. So we're gonna repair a couple of these hoses, and then." The gap on your spark plug's a little bit too wide, so it's having a really hard time igniting, so you're misfiring on cylinder 2, so we're going to replace the spark plugs. It was so great.
10% hotter.
Wait, is that your straightest? Your giant gap is your straightest or gayest thing? I lost track.
Yeah.
There's a spark there indeed. Okay.
Yeah.
Straight, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, just it was very
I know-
butch because I was following what he was saying
Yeah.
and asked good questions, and like I totally sounded normal.
Like a regular human that knows information about cars.
That dude has no idea I'm gay. He's probably gay.
Yeah.
That would be gayish.
Did he? That's gayish. You're fucking gayish. Again, the song that I don't really remember yet, but
Yep. And the gayest thing about me this week, I told you about my medication change.
Mm-hmm.
I've been having really, really vivid dreams as part of this, like whatever's happening in my brainikins. And I totally today had a crazy sex dream about Trevor. I very rarely have sex dreams, and this one was intense. And
do you want to tell us more about it?
Okay.
You don't have to.
Okay. Suddenly, like it was like one of those it was powerful enough that I felt like I was awake because in the dream I was in my bed and I was literally in my bed when the dream was happening. But like suddenly then like Trevor was there and he's like, I'm going to go down on you. And I'm like, okay, I should probably take a shower first. And he's like, no, I like it like this. And then like, it was, I'll stop there because you guys are making creepy faces.
Are we too interested for your taste?
No.
Okay. It's been a few times that this has happened in the past couple months where I've had these really messed up dreams where I've dreamt that I am in my bed and making myself get up to go to work. And it's been really confusing about what's a dream and what's real. Like it honestly has messed me up for like half a day when I'm like, I don't know if I've gotten up for work yet or not.
Yeah.
And then like, I'll wake up and be like, oh, okay, now you're awake and move. And I can't. And then I'm like, oh, I'm still in a dream. Okay, now I'll move. And then I do move. And then that's still a dream. Like, man, I'm just like it's just.
It's Inception. You're in Inception.
I'm septed. I have been septed. I am inception.
You're septic.
I'm exceptionally septic. my straightest thing. Are we on me yet?
Yeah, do
okay,
it.
Great. What is the most common thing I say in orgy? Okay. My straightest thing is I feel like gay people are supposed to be, I think I said this before, like dainty and dancers and nimble and just like very good at movement, maybe. To get the wine that I bought, I walked into like one of those little convenience stores, like mini mart things, and I did the thing where I backed up into a stand of like, I didn't knock, nothing fell over because they've had like, it just like a stack of like chips and beef sticks just shook violently, and because I backed up into it because I'm such like I don't know, I'm apparently not very like smooth.
You would totally Pee Wee Herman knock over a whole row of motorcycles.
Yes, 100%. And then I'd be so uncomfortable I'd like fake die for a little bit because I couldn't deal with how to talk to people.
Then they'd come out to try to beat you up and you'd be into it.
Yeah, and then I'd like come, they'd be like, whoa. Ooh, new fantasy. Okay, the straightest, no, that was the straightest. The gayest thing about me,
Yep.
you wouldn't expect this, my poop. You would think straight people are the ones that like talk about poop and they're like joking about poop and body movements. Wait, no? Bowel movements? Bowel movements.
Yeah.
Body movements
Okay.
was the other thing that I'm bad.
Body moving.
Wait, is that a what's her name song?
Body moving.
Isn't that
Moby?
Maybe.
I'm thinking never mind. I don't know. Okay.
Great.
My gayest thing is
Poop.
Sometimes as a gay man, you have this poop that's just one long poop and it ends and it's over. There's no debris. Your wipe is immediately clean and you're just like, I am a bottoming god. This is my heaven. I am brilliant and everyone come fuck me right now for I have pooped and it is clean.
For I am popping fresh.
For no remnants remain in my anus. That's to me, I don't think straight people have to worry. I mean, like everyone has to clean their anus. That's just a like.
Hey kids,
Hey kids,
clean your anus.
Clean your anus. But like to have a clean poop is a very specifically gay bottom thing of like just sheer enjoyment and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it happens to me.
Well done.
Thank you.
Good pooping.
Not early, just now in between when we took a break.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Just no.
No. We can't because we're trying to keep the noise down, but I'll turn on the vent fan after we're done recording. Too much?
So that's it. A special thank you as always to me.
To Michael Johnson for writing our amazing theme
For the
music.
use of our theme
People
music.
like it. I think people tend to like it. I think they...
Except that one person that said that our old theme music made him want to sit in the corner and cut himself.
Hey, been there, dude. I get you. Listen to our episode about self-harm.
Oh,
Maybe. God. Oh my God! I picked the. I mean, I picked the old music. Oh God, that's true. Too real. Anyway, thank you to Mike Johnson for writing all of our music. Now,
yeah.
you're gonna have to change. Your behavior is always to say a special thank you.
That just rolled out of my mouth.
I know, and then you were like, "Ooh!" I could see it happening. It's funny. We're growing.
Thank you to P-Butt.
for all the peas and all the butts.
Thank you to Jafar.
Really, for that real well.
No, only the
beard.
Patreons heard that.
Oh, you don't. Well, no. Well, let's rub it into all the non-patrons. Do you know what we're talking about? No, you don't, suckers. Thank you to all the people that have written really nice things and really sweet things. We've read it. It's actually meant a lot to me, especially right now when I'm like kind of dealing with my mental health and depression. To see that people care and to see that this can make a difference to people is very sweet to hear about and is a nice boost sometimes when we need it. So thank you.
Yep. When we first started this, we said if we even helped a handful of people, that it would be totally worth it. And it's crazy when y'all write in. It's great.
Yeah.
Feelings are stupid. Okay, that's it. This has been Gayish. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. See you next week.
See you next week.
Goodbye. Bye. Grow a beard. If you can.
No.
If not, it's fine. If you can't.
Great.
Grape.
Great.
Grape.